Thank you both.
Thank you.
You bet.
I don't know what happened there. I saw that Gary's didn't have his either.
I know.
Thank you.
I'm glad you left three. One,
There
two,
wasn't
three.
anybody out there waiting to come in.
My kind of meeting.
Where's everybody?
All right. We're good to go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will reconvene the meeting of the town council, which began with an interview session, and I'll ask that you join me in pledging allegiance to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first item of business is approval of the minutes of February 24th.
Can I just make announcements are after
Right,
that?
just after that.
Sorry. about
Motion
that.
to approve the minutes of the February 24th, 2022 town council meeting, unless anybody has any questions or comments on them.
I'll second it.
Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Announcements, there are none printed, but we have an announcement to make from a member of the council. Yes, sir.
Sorry for jumping ahead there.
Not at all.
I'm the Little Compton representative on Discover Newport, and I just wanted to present an unsolicited grant to the town in the amount of $7,500 from Discover Newport. They have given us a list of qualifying ideas and suggestions, which include hiking trails, which would include improvements to hiking trails, bike trails, outdoor planters or public gardens, new trash cans, directional signage. The list goes on. It's kind of up to the town on what we want to use this for, but the general framework is for public enjoyment and tourism community. So I just wanted to present this to the town, and I'm hoping that I might be included on how we can use it going forward.
Thank you.
I'm on the Willows Woods Subcommittee, Public Park, and they're looking for money.
Absolutely.
Well, maybe
Let's give it a
Paul
go.
and Andrew and.
I'll just ask that you would coordinate with the administrator, and
Okay.
we can then bring in all the necessary parties. What great news. That's absolutely perfect. Thank you very
And
much.
thank you to Discover Newport for
Yeah.
giving that to us.
Yeah, that's
nice.
substantial, and in areas that we certainly can use funding. Thanks. The next, any further announcements? The department head reports, that of the town clerk, the police chief, the town administrator, and the fire department are all in your package.
Motion to approve all four town department reports as written, unless anybody wants to pull one for comment or questions.
Is there,
I'll second it.
the motion is made and seconded. Two of the report submitters, the town administrator and the town clerk, are here. Anything that you would like to add to us in that regard? Thank you very much. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks. The next item of business is old business, and it is the first item to appoint a member to the Little Compton Housing Trust to fill an unexpired term.
You know, we just interviewed for these two positions. I think both of them were very qualified. In my opinion, Amanda Toasty has the same view on some of the situations going forward in the town. So I'm going to make a motion to appoint Amanda Toasty.
I'm happy to second it.
He seconded it.
I'm sorry. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there further discussion?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I'd like to thank both the candidates for coming forward and submitting their names. You know, we've been making some moves on the housing trust over the last few years. I hope everyone's seen the survey that went out. Everyone's able to finish that survey online, which is great, about housing. And I would agree with Gary. I think both the candidates bring forward very good ideas, and I think that they're very similar in a lot of ways, but I I think that Amanda has a unique perspective in a lot of different things, but also, especially as a Realtor, I think that's one of the things that we're missing on the Housing Trust. So I would support Gary's motion.
Thank you.
I was impressed, and I didn't know anything about this legacy program out on Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, and also that Amanda said she did work on a housing trust in New Hampshire or Vermont. Yeah.
We didn't specialize in houses, but every once in a while, a house came with the land.
Hmm.
So we were, one of the things we did was a partnership with Cornell
Hmm.
and turned it into student housing for research. Cornell took over the lease, paid us for it and all of the maintenance. And it was conservation land. It's called the Creek Farm Reservation, if you've ever heard of that.
So she impressed me with that, so I hope she's gonna go to the next housing trust meeting with fire coming out of her shoes.
Well,
Motion's been made and seconded, sir.
all right, well, I'm just allowing for comments.
Okay.
These gentlemen have decided they needed to give us
Yeah,
those perspective.
you know.
All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Congratulations and
Welcome
thank you
aboard,
very
Amanda.
much. The next item of business is an update on capital project funding. I'm pleased to report that we have solicited and have received bids for and have selected an entity, and that entity is Bay Coast Bank right here in Little Compton to fund our $2 million request. That $2 million request for capital project funding, you'll recall, was an element of the last year's financial town meeting in which the budget committee recommended that no expenses be incurred in this current fiscal year. Indeed, that is the result of the bid. The bid is that the first payment on this bill for the borrowing would occur in fiscal '23, and those payments would be in the normal fashion of an interest payment and then a subsequent interest and principal payment. What is it going to buy for us? It's going to fund the refurbishment of Town Hall. It's going to fund the building of the parking lot that moves parking off the commons and into the area donated by the Ponce family for that specific purpose. And it also will build a public works building. And that's our intention in order to use those funds. And we're just, I mean, the figure that we got of 1.88% over 10 years is just exactly what we're looking for. And there was no one close to that figure. That's not fair. There were people close to it, but they were clearly the winning bid. So we're pleased that we're be able to move forward with that, and we expect those solicitations. You may realize that we've asked for a project manager and we're not satisfied with the answers we got. So we're looking at how are we going to move forward with the construction of the town, or the re-siding basically, and refurbishment of the town hall at a range of about 2/3 of $1 million, about $650,000, the parking lot, and then the public works building. So that's where we're headed, and now we have the funds to do it, so we're looking forward to that. The signing will occur on the 18th of March. Yes,
That 650 is all those projects
the 650 is the town hall project.
and the other projects?
The other projects are in the range of, the parking lot, we believe, is $250,000 to $300,000, depending on how we set up the rain, what's the term?
Mitigation.
Yeah, but it's,
Drainage.
Mitigation.
right, there's a rain garden was the name I'm trying to come up with.
Can I test your brain on the size of that parking lot?
What's that?
Size of the parking lot, the dimension. Do you know what off the top of your head?
0.6 of an acre is
Yeah.
what was donated, but we're going to use some of Lot 8, which is our lot on which the basketball court and the school sits. So we think we're probably in the range of about 0.8, perhaps to 0.9 of an acre.
How many cars on that parking lot?
There would be 45 in the parking lot that was 0.6 of an acre, so we anticipate that number growing to something like 60.
Is there any thought of anything else on that 9/10 or 8/10, whatever you're saying,
is-
besides pavement and a parking lot?
It would not be paved it would be a permeable surface is our intention. But no, I don't believe there would be room to do anything else. As I say, what we're trying to do is to get the rain garden on Ag Trust property so as to limit or increase the number of parking spaces.
So I apologize for being late to the game on it. So we're using the entire footprint for parking. Has that been voted on already?
Yes,
And so.
that was the purpose of the
Right.
donation.
Right. Okay.
In other words, it was carved out. Amanda brought forward in the interview we just did, the idea of doing creative things. This is hardly creative in the same sense that she's speaking of, but it's the kind of thing that we're doing. We're saying if the Ag Trust is about to acquire property, what might we do with some portion of it? How might we, for instance, if there were a house on that property, how could we acquire the property for the Ag Trust and acquire the house to be used for the farmer that takes care of the property? So it's those kinds of approaches that we're trying to initiate with this kind of impetus.
No, that's a big leap from a parking lot to getting a house for farmers on Ag Trust land. That's
No,
quite a leap.
Actually, we've had a number of acquisitions in which we've torn down a house in the past because, or carved it off and sold it separately, instead of acquiring it as an entity and saying we can use both the land for a farm and the house that's already built there for someone to live in. So we're it's that way of thinking that says, what might we do that's different from simply acquiring land and conserving?
That would be different for sure in this town. Yeah.
Well,
So, and taking down the barn and moving it to the transfer station or a new building there, that's in this also?
yes,
And what's the cost on that?
I think it's 600,000.
You're looking about
700.
exactly, somewhere between 650 and 750.
Oh, we're not moving that building.
No,
No.
You're gonna tear it down and construct another one?
Construct, right.
And
Would
so,
be a metal building.
so we're close to 1.5 with just what we just talked about just now.
Right.
Is there anything more? Or those are the three?
those are the three projects that we told the people in the budget warrant
Yep.
that we were gonna spend the money on, yes.
And, okay,
That's not obviously with the ability to invest $2 million, we're not going to say, well, those are the only three we can do. We have budget approval to borrow $2 million, and that's what we've done.
thank you.
Yeah. The next is new business. I don't think we need any more. New business, a request from the American Legion Post 37 for permission to hold the annual Memorial Day Parade and exercises. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time I've been able to say that in 3 years. On May 30th, 2022.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. And a request from the United Congregational Church for the use of Town Landing on Sunday, April 17th for their Easter sunrise service.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Board of License Commissioners, the council sitting as the board entertains a request from the Little Compton Game Club for a one-day Class F beverage license for a game supper on March 26th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Communications, copies of resolutions that were adopted by the town of Burrillville and the city of Woonsocket, both of whom wrote resolutions opposing Rhode Island House Bill 6638, Senate Bill 2340, which would prohibit single-family residential zoning in municipalities with populations over 20,000.
I did a quick survey of cities and towns that would knock Newport could no longer give residential building permits out. It's just one of them that would affect.
Well, I don't think we have a dog in this fight or this.
No, we don't.
I hope I never see 20,000 people in Little Compton, but it'd be pretty tight if we did. So I'm gonna make a motion to place this on file.
I'll second.
Discussion on that. All in favor? Aye. Copies of two resolutions from the Barrington Town Council. The first of these was a resolution enabling residential solar to better contribute to reaching Rhode Island renewable electricity goals. And the second was a resolution asking the General Assembly to enact legislation creating a Rhode Island broadband development program and enabling Rhode Island municipalities to incentivize broadband services. Let me say, go ahead, sir.
I was going to, since we already have our own solar ordinance, I think we're quite prepared for any solar aspects that come to this town. So I'm going to make a motion to place on file the one from City of Woonsocket.
No, we've done that.
already.
We're on number
Oh,
two.
okay, all right, yeah,
Yep.
okay. So this one, I'll comment on too. I think the broadband services, anything we can do to get better internet down in Little Compton, I think would help us. And then with the.
And your comment on solar
Solar,
has
right.
been made.
Right.
Um,
So I would support the first one about broadband and make a motion to place on file the second one about solar energy.
And if I could clarify, when you say I would support the broadband development program, are you proposing that we would write ourselves a resolution, or we would endorse the Barrington resolution, or what form would that take? Or do you,
Well, next say if you're gonna do anything and you want it to be heard in
It's the-
General Assembly, you need to adopt your own.
Okay. So I'll make a motion that we adopt our own. Can you handle that, Bob?
I would suggest the following motion, that we place on file the residential solar and that we take for action and return to the next council meeting with a resolution similar to that of Barrington, which promotes the adoption of broadband development program.
Is that in the
That's
form
how-
of a motion, Bob?
Yes.
I'll second it.
All right, the motion's made and seconded, as I have said, place on file solar and return to the next meeting with a resolution supporting broadband development. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I'm in an awkward situation here, because I'm not supporting the broadband, but
Okay,
I'll agree with this motion, because it's gonna come up before us again.
okay.
I think there's too much malarkey in the air now, and I don't want any more broadband, and I love it when my cell phone goes dead and there's no connection, and I don't have internet.
All right,
So,
let's leave that discussion then for the next meeting, and we stand forewarned that that's.
so
how-
I'll aye for the, bring it up.
All right, so the motion then, as posed, carries 5-0. Next is an invitation received from the city of Newport mayor to participate in the 66th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade and exercises day after tomorrow.
If anybody would like to go to that, represent the council, that would be nice. If not, then I'll make a motion to place this on file.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The next item is a copy of a resolution from the Middletown Town Council requesting support of the ARPA, that's the American Recovery Plan Act, the ARPA proposals in Article 1, Section 16, which is municipal learning centers.
You know, I'm going to make a motion to also place this on file. If you read the paragraph on the second page where it says, Governor McKee has identified Middletown as a leader in providing this community service, stating the initial phase will establish a total of 11 programs, including 5 in Providence, 2 in Pawtucket, 1 in Central Falls, Cumberland, Middletown, North Providence. So we're not included that, so I'm not going to support something the town of Little Compton is not included in.
I'm sorry, so
I'll
your
second it.
motion was
Would
to place on
place on
file,
file.
and yours is a second to that
Second to
motion. Is
that.
there discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Finally, a request from the Recreation Committee that the council allocate $2,500 from Civic Recreation, the Veterans Field Maintenance line item, to match $2,500 from the Little Compton Little League. Counselor McHugh.
Yes, Colin Masser and the Canaan Boys would like to donate their labor to fix the shed over Veterans Field. So we're partnering up with the Little Compton Little League, as we have before, and splitting the cost of the materials, estimated at $5,000, not to exceed $5,000. So $2,500 would be the town's half.
And in conversation with the administrator, those funds are currently available in that line?
That's correct, yes.
You want to make that motion, Pat?
Yes, I'm gonna make the motion to approve $2,500 for the renovation of the shed on Veterans Field, partnering with Little Compton Little League.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks for your work on that. The final item is the payment of bills.
Motion, go ahead, Paul.
Motion to pay the bills?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. There being no further matters before the council, I declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you.